Alright, so I have a day off from school, which is awesome because it means I am back for another classic album review here. Um, Today I'm going to be doing Monster Magnet's 1995 release, Dopes to Infinity. And now, I discovered Monster Magnet a few years ago when I used to listen to really shitty music. Um, and the reason I did is because modern Monster Magnet stuff is not as good as their old stuff. But eventually I was in Spain one day, and I went to a record store record shopping, and I was like, I like Monster Magnet, but they didn't have any of their new stuff, so I was like, hey, I'll just buy their old stuff. And I didn't really like it at this album at first, which is why I purchased this album. I didn't really like it at first, and now, 2 years later, is when I have rediscovered what I now think is a classic. The only way to describe this album is that it punches you in the face at the same time as it offers you some weed. That is the analogy for this because it manages to be spacey on one hand and beefy on the other. I mean, there is tons of distortion on the guitar. The bass gets pushed way up, as you can hear, and it just leads to this crazy stoner album. It's like a hippie album, except a lot more violent than hippiness. At least the hippiness of the '60s. You feel like moshing for this, but then you can also relax. It walks two lines almost. Not one five one, but two. All the songs practically flow into each other. I always make the stoner comparison with this because it's like this is like the top of stoner rock in the '90s, and these long, spacey, thick jams. There's just a lot of juice in this album. Now, in terms of technical ability, Monster Magnet is not really that good. But the bass being pushed up helps, and Dave Wyndorf has a really gripping voice. It makes you want to care. And through all this spaciness, there's a lot of urgency when he sings. And now, in terms of production, it was produced by Dave Wyndorf and Steve Rosenthal. Um, as I said for the third time now, the decision to push the bass up was the best one, but I feel like they kind of left the sound and just left the sound that they recorded it with and just amplified it by 10 to make this. Now, the final category here, I know I'm stealing from Sir All About Music's way to review things, but I'm always disorganized, so this helps. In terms of originality, Monster Magnet always stole from Black Sabbath in their early days, but they still create their own sound. It's not so similar sounding that you can't tell who it is. So I think there's some pretty good originality there. And the one problem I could see with it is that there's no way this appeals to mass audiences because it has absolutely zero pop sensibility. But to be honest, at this point, I don't think that they cared, and I don't care. This is the album. This is the type of album that when people like it, they'll love it, and when they don't, they'll say, "What is this garbage?" So I'm one of the people that likes it. Comment if you like it or if you don't like it. I think this is awesome. Probably one of their best albums.